Oh my gosh. If you don't know what I'm talking about, BYU and Coastal Carolina played earlier. Oh, they played yesterday. I'm recording this. Yeah. They played yesterday. It was amazing. That is, I think, the second best game of the year behind the Notre Dame Clemson game. Holy cow. That was amazing. But the main point of this video is not yesterday. It's past yesterday. Like, what's going to happen? And that's what I'm going to get into. But in order to get to that, get to the future, got to go back a little bit to Thursday. Well, last Saturday. We'll start there. Or I don't know. We'll start at the beginning of the year. And Liberty and Coastal Carolina. Well, yeah, this is bad. We're going to start quite a while back. Almost 14 years ago. Well, 2003. 17 years ago. Liberty and Coastal Carolina. They're supposed to be playing today. They were supposed to be playing yesterday. And before that, they were old FCS rivals. They were 7-7 against each other from 2003 till 2017. And the Big South Conference Championship always went through one of those two teams. Every single year of those 14 years, it went through one of those two teams. Now, both of them are FBS teams, and both of them are succeeding. They're doing excellent. Liberty is 9-1, just outside of the top 25. Coastal Carolina is 9-0, and sitting 18th, 14th, 18th. AP poll and college football playoff, and they were supposed to have college football game day down in Coastal Carolina yesterday. However, Liberty got COVID. Several Liberty players and staff tested positive, including Liberty star quarterback Malik Willis, who has 2,040 yards, 20 touchdowns, and four interceptions, and a 77.6 QBR. Pretty good numbers. It's also great on the run. But yeah, so that's because of the COVID, not going to happen. The game got canceled. Medical personnel said no, it's not safe. So if we go and look at the college football playoff rankings, we see two teams, BYU and Coastal Carolina. Both of them, I believe, are very disrespected. About equally disrespected. I think BYU is a top. Should have been number 8. They got college football playoff committee ranked them at 13th. I thought Coastal Carolina is around 14th. They got ranked at 18th. So, fairly disrespected teams. BYU has been looking for games. They haven't played since November 21st. So, when they saw an opportunity to play, they jumped on it. In fact, they sent their equipment truck out before the game had officially been agreed to. But then, as we now know, it worked out. It worked out perfectly. So, just 4 days ago, well, Thursday, 3 days ago, when we had no game, we now had one of the best this year. And there were a lot of implications with this one. For BYU, there's a chance if with a win, they would be in the top 10 in the college football playoff. In fact, maybe passing Cincinnati, maybe passing Florida or A&M. I don't know for sure, but definitely would have. I think they definitely would have passed Cincinnati. And that's my rankings. They definitely would have been in the top 10. Another implication: Zach Wilson would have legitimized himself as a Heisman candidate and a more than likely New Year's Six Bowl bid. For Coastal Carolina, basically the same implications: a top 10 in college football playoff rankings and a New Year's Six Bowl. No real Heisman candidate from Coastal Carolina, as their team is just so balanced. But yeah, those are the implications going into the game. Now, for the actual game, the main takeaway of this was Mormon versus Mullets. That's what I got from it. And, yeah. Anyway, quick summary of the game, very back and forth. They both scored. Coastal Carolina scored 4 times, BYU 3 times. So great defensive game. What started off with a CJ Marbell's 6-yard touchdown run, with 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Missed extra point, which could have ended up costing them. Then BYU answered with 13:50 left in the second quarter. Tyler Allager, I think is how you say it, had a 42-yard touchdown run, putting BYU up 7-6. Then Reese White from Coastal Carolina, 1-yard touchdown run 4 minutes into the second quarter, 13-7. BYU, Dax Milne, 41-yard touchdown pass on the sideline, amazing play. With a minute and 45 left in the second quarter, putting BYU up 14-3, and that's the score going into halftime. BYU then got the ball, and then they in the third quarter, they got the ball. In the third quarter, both BYU and Coastal Carolina traded field goals, which ended up heading into the fourth quarter. Coastal Carolina up 17-16, I think. No, BYU up 17-16. I'm good. But yeah, then with 11 minutes left, the game-winning touchdown was scored by CJ Maribel in a 2-yard touchdown run to put Coastal Carolina up 22-17. After that, back and forth plays, like the entire quarter. Great fourth quarter. But the one play I want to highlight from this was on BYU's second to last drive. Zach Wilson, check down pass basically. Receiver could have given himself up. He was being tackled, could have gone out of bounds, but instead swings it back around for a 16-yard loss, and that stops the BYU drive basically. But if they had kept the 16 yards, maybe BYU scores. We don't know. But here's why. So that was today. That was today. And Coastal Carolina ended up winning off a play, came up 1 yard short. I saw it compared to the Tennessee Titans and St. Louis Rams Super Bowl, stopping the Titans receiver. Don't remember his name on the 1 yard line, but yeah, that's what I saw it compared to. But one thing. So now I want to get into the bigger topic of this video. Sorry if I'm tired because I record my videos at very late at night. This is the first reason why I believe that this should be a rivalry. So there's that. Quick camera change. But I've recorded this part 3 times. This is the 3rd time I'm recording it, and I'm getting a little annoyed with it. But yeah, I think the first time I messed up my words, and it was so bad that I did not feel like I could use it. The second one, the second one was just my computer being stupid and not wanting to process it or whatever. But I'm back with this. So if I'm gonna start talking fast just to speed this up because I'm frustrated. I want to be done with this current section. I love this video, but I've been working on this video, recording it for an hour and a half. But these 2 teams will be good for a little bit, specifically next year and the year after. BYU, let's just look at them real quick. They return at quarterback Baylor Romney, who hasn't played too much, but his career stats are 78 completions, 120 attempts with a 65% completion percentage, just over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and 152.6 rating. Compare that rating to quarterbacks from this year. Desmond Ridder with 159.9, Shane Buechele from SMU, who leads one of the best passing attacks in the country with 152.9, and then Graham Mertz at 150.3. Next, they return their star running back, Tyler Algier, the sophomore, who has 118 attempts, 851 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Pretty solid. Next, wide receiver Dax Milne and wide receiver Gunter Romney, both sophomores, the two best receivers on the team. Milne has 49 receptions, 906 yards, 6 touchdowns, and Romney has 34 receptions, 708 yards, 2 touchdowns. Both very great receivers going into next year. Next, going to the defense side of the ball, very physical defense, coached by Kalani Sitake. Great job. I think one of the better coaches in college football right now. But starting off, linebacker Keenan Pili, sophomore, 45 total tackles and 1 fumble recovery. Another sophomore linebacker, Max Tooley, 30 total tackles, 1 interception. And defense lineman Tyler Batty, a freshman with 13 total tackles and 4 sacks in his freshman year. These are 7 players that are coming back next year for the Cougars that should be very good players and lead BYU to even more success. But again, led by Coach Kalani Sitake, who the only real knock I have him is he's not getting his defense to create turnovers, but they are playing extremely physical. I think the turnovers will come next year. They will force a lot of turnovers just due to the physicality that they play with and that their coach makes them play with. So next we look at Coastal Carolina. Who will they have returning? Starting off, they will have their starting quarterback, Grayson McCall, the freshman, with a 67.2% completion percentage, 1,747 yards, 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 188.4 rating. Pretty solid numbers, specifically the completion percentage, the interception, and the 188.4 rating. Great numbers, insane numbers. It is boosted by the fact that they doesn't throw a lot, but still, like the 20 touchdowns, especially being a run-first team, great. 1 interception, great. The yards is not good, but maybe he will improve for next year and the rest of his 3 years. They do not return their starting running back in C.J. Marval, but they do return at running back Reese White, the sophomore, who has 63 attempts, 402 yards, 6.4 average with 5 touchdowns. Pretty solid as a number 2 back. Then their starting wide receiver, their star wide receiver, Javon Healy, that's how I'm going to say it, 41 receptions, 682 yards, 16.6 average, and 8 touchdowns. Definitely McCall's number 1 receiver, and hopefully for one more year they have a great connection. Next, this defense is led by upperclassmen, as these 4 players that I'm going to point out are all juniors, but these aren't even the best players on their team. The 3 of their best defenders are seniors, including their no, that was BYU, never mind. But yeah, their defense leaders are all upperclassmen, specifically seniors. But we'll start with linebacker Enoch Maconzo, the junior, as I mentioned. 5 total tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Pretty solid. The next linebacker, Jeffrey Gunter, number 94 from the video. 39 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, 1 interception, and 3 forced fumbles. Great numbers. And then their interception leader, cornerback DeJordan Strong, 20 total tackles, 5 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. And then their second team leader in interceptions, safety Alex Spillman, who has 42 total tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. And I give most of the credit to Jamie Chadwell, who has done an amazing job with this defense, getting them 2 forced turnovers. Even though they don't play as physical as at BYU, they force the turnovers anyway. So great job by Jamie Chadwell. But now, in order to have a rivalry, you need to play games. And while they won't play next year, as BYU's schedule is full, I don't know if, I'm guessing Coastal Carolina is also full. But starting in 2022, they will more than likely play a game that year, as the 2 athletic directors, after securing this game, have talked and will play a game in Provo just to make it a home-and-home series as of now. Should be an amazing game in 2022. But if we look beyond that, the Sun Belt Conference allows 4 non-conference games per year. Coastal Carolina currently has non-conference openings from 2022 to 2029. That's 8 years of football games. BYU, as of right now, is an independent, so they'll join the Pac-12, well, more than likely the Pac-12, maybe the Big Ten, but more than likely the Pac-12 until they join them. They're an independent. Their schedule is open from 2022 on. They also have a partnership with ESPN. I don't know exactly how that works, but I mean, when it comes to working out a game, like setting up a season, yeah, like this, a partnership with ESPN definitely helps. I don't know all the details, but yeah, this definitely helps BYU. And overall, I think this is just a rivalry that needs to happen. the fans want to see it. As you saw from this game, it is regarded as the second best game thus far. Some even say the best, which it isn't. I mean, it's Clemson and Notre Dame. That game went to double overtime with two of the top three, according to the college football playoff teams in the country. But yes, an amazing game. People watch this game as long as they're good, and even if they're not good, people will probably still watch this game. So I think this rivalry absolutely needs to happen, and I hope these athletic directors get on it. I'm sorry that I'm speaking really fast. I'm just trying to get this done. And please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.